That's for your lunch, kid.
Oh, no. You know, open up some statements about last week's game. Obviously a very disappointing loss for us, a game that we felt like we should have and could have won. You know, we looked back at it, evaluated it. We did some really good things on defense. We did some really good things on offense. And we did some good things on special teams, but we didn't do enough to win the football game. We did not have any penalties on offense. We did not have any turnovers on offense. We didn't create any turnovers on defense. We had 100 yards worth of penalties, which was really something that I guess a lot of people will tell you 100 yards of penalties is equal to 2 turnovers. If you look at it through those eyes, that's probably fairly accurate. We rushed the ball. Each back had over 100 yards. So when you say no turnovers, you say you rush the ball for over 200 yards. Each back have 100 yards. You play good on defense. You play solid on special teams. By all rights, you should win that football game, but we didn't. We didn't make the plays we had available to make on defense or on offense at the right times to be able to win that game. You should have walked out of there and with an ugly win, and that was not the case. In hindsight, looking back at it, we would say that we're going to strive, you know, to create as much balance as we can on first and second down, keep ourselves out of third and longs. We were in too many third and longs. That had a lot to do, though, not with, obviously when you rush for 200 yards, it's not got to do with that. It's got to do with the penalties. And when you get in those third and longs, they're not real manageable. Your percent of conversion on third and long is terrible. I mean, it's going to be terrible. So we've got to do a better job with that. And, you know, in the special teams, we like to create explosives. We really didn't create explosives. And so I think those are the things that hurt us. Let me tell you the good news. The good news is I thought our kids really played really hard. I felt that way on the field, and I felt that way watching the tape. We competed really hard. The good news is that we really came out yesterday. We gave them some days off here, and I thought we had one of our best days we've had in a long time yesterday. And that tells you the resiliency and the toughness and the competitiveness of our football team. So I'm proud of them for that. And, you know, we're in the grind of the season. We've got to find a way to get this next game, and that's where it is. Relative to Ohio, really outstanding football team. You know, one of the best teams in the league, obviously. They've had a couple games where they haven't gone their way. They took a lot of injuries against Rutgers, and they haven't had their top guys on defense. However, it seems like they may have them for Wednesday night. So I'm anticipating that we'll get a full-strength Ohio, and I certainly hope that we have a full-strength Temple. And that's where it is. They run the ball. They're probably a lot like us. You know, they want to run that ball. They're a tough, hard-nosed football team. They play aggressive on defense, they do a great job in special teams. I think they're well prepared. I think they have great home field advantage on a Wednesday night there. But I think it's going to be a great atmosphere with being on ESPN game, and I think it's going to be a heck of a fun game to be at, to watch on TV, and to be a part of. So we're looking forward to a great week. What questions you guys have?
That was pretty hard.
You know, trying to get himself prepared to play right now. You know, not there yet.
It's just like, just the, you know, hits like just the kind of call. I mean, like bumps and bruises, that kind of thing, or is it?
No, he has a hamstring injury.
Oh, okay.
Did he get injured on that one run that was brought back? Is that
He had hurt it the week before. He hadn't been in practice all week long, and I give him a lot of credit. He didn't want to come out of that game, and it was real important to him to be in that game. It was evident to anybody that was there or could watch it that he was probably at conservatively 60%. Of course, 60% of them still was worth over 100 yards of rushing, but he, you know, that early in that game in the first quarter, you know, things started really bothering him.
How are you roosting him for the next game? Questionable, probable?
No idea. I mean, honestly, you know, couldn't tell you yet.
Are you going to rest him like you did last week?
Yep.
Just hold him out of practice up until the game?
Yep.
Okay. Other injuries, your offensive line, how are you?
I mean, we lost Pat Boyle in that game for the game. That was a critical loss in that game. People don't understand that, but that's fine. That's what it was. And, you know, so I feel good about him.
Okay.
penalty, the Lady game penalty when you snapped it too soon, I assume. I'm just wondering, what was the explanation? Because I've never seen the call. I talked to a couple officials.
I don't think I'm probably supposed to comment on all that stuff.
But I mean, did they say what it was? Because just the umpire is supposed to put the ball down, and once he does, plays on, right? Is that your understanding?
Yes.
Okay, and that's basically what happened, and then the line judge or somebody, side judge, whistle a penalty?
I can't give you a good answer right now,
Okay.
honestly. You know, so,
Is that the first time you ever saw such a penalty called in all your years?
yeah, I don't really have a good answer for you right now, other than the fact that, you know, I know the league, you know, it's just a play. It's what it is, you know, it's what it is. And, you know, we got to do a better job of, penalties have not been that kind of issue for us, but in that game, we had 100 yards worth of penalties. It was 100 yards worth of penalties. Just got to do a better job of, you know, working on things to keep us out of those penalties. I don't know what to say. You know, I really don't know what to say. Not only do we have 100 yards worth of penalties, but on top of the 100 yards worth of penalties, we had probably 60 yards worth of lost yardage. So it's really like 160 yards worth of penalties. That's the problem with that stuff right there. You put that on top of what you have, you're now into almost 400 yards of offense, but it keeps your drives alive, keeps your scores alive, and it puts you in a momentum swing, and it puts you where you normally would be in your game, our style of game. But at the end of the day, that didn't happen, and you have to find a way to win, and we didn't. And that's clearly where it is.
Now, you said you guys had a great practice yesterday. Are they kind of like pissed off, like thinking we let one slip away,
Yeah.
or are they just focused like
Both.
we have to win? Okay.
Absolutely both. Absolutely both. I mean, we know that, you know, and that's not to take anything away from Bowling Green. They made the plays that they needed to make in that game to win the game. I mean, period end. But, yes, that's how we felt. That's how our kids feel. What does that have to do with anything? Obviously, we have their great attention. But, you know, we still have to go on the road on Wednesday into a really hostile environment against an outstanding football team who will now be at full strength as opposed to where they were the last few weeks. That's what it is.
It's even a team that didn't turn the ball over for 3 straight weeks, so. I know you say the penalties kind of are like a turnover, but you haven't turned it over in almost a month.
That's what's frustrating, because we felt like we got a handle on that. But that's also got a lot to do with why we play the way we play. You know, everyone has opinion. You know what I mean? It's like, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? You know, I laugh sometimes, like, well, why don't you throw the ball more? Okay, well, you certainly can. I think we need to. I think we need to have more balance on first and second down. But along with that comes a little bit higher degree of opportunity for a turnover. You know, run Pierce more. I'm with you. I'd like to run him 30, but, you know, poor guy couldn't do that. So that wasn't an option. But Matt Brown came in, and wow, he looked sensational, you know. And I thought he did a great job. In fact, he got worn down at the end of that game. He was having a hard time in that game a little bit, you know, but I think the thing is we want to keep our turnovers down. When you're a running football team, you obviously don't want turnovers. When you're a running football team, you want to have good field position. When you're a running football team, you don't want a lot of penalties because you don't want to put yourself in these, you know, second and longs. That's not really where you want to be. So that's who we are philosophically right now. That's who we are. And because we're playing to our strengths, as everyone would agree. There's some liabilities to that, as we can all witness. And so the key is to be as balanced as you can, but the more balanced you become, the less time you're putting the ball in someone's hand as well. So, you know, it all sounds good and it's all good, cafeteria conversation, but at the end of the day, we're a team that wants to win with great defense. We want to win running the football. We want to win with great special teams. We want to do that. Now, we have to create explosives. We didn't create a lot of explosives in that game. In our run game, we had plays which normally would have been big explosives for us, but we couldn't get there. Our guy couldn't. Matt Brown had one of them, but Bernard with his leg couldn't create the other couple that we had available. Then a couple that we did have came back because of penalty. So we've got to create explosives. So going into this game, we're saying to ourselves, okay, how are we going to do that right now? You know, and that's what we're working on right now. We've got to create those explosives within what we do best. And that's what we're working on. And that's what we have to do. And it may take us out of our comfort level just a little bit. You know.
Talk about getting through the belly of the season, and now you can sort of see a little bit. Yeah. Is it a little different now? I mean, because it's almost like championship mode.
Yeah.
You know, from here on out.
It is, you know. I think the key is that, you know, right now, we've done some things, and like other people are, where you're trying to account for, you know, losing a guy, you know, because injuries become prevalent in this time of year right now. And so our goal is to have answers, you know, you know, when you lose people. And, you know, we're working on that right now. You're in this part of the season, you know, I can't stand here, and I'm not going to, and make an excuse or whine, or, because everyone's in the same boat, you know, and so you got to find solutions right now. And so that's what happens, especially I believe in our conference, you know, because depth is always an issue. And so we've got to find those answers to give ourselves an opportunity to go win. And that's what we're going to do. I mean, that's what it's all about. We got a really good team. I really like our attitude right now. You know, I hope, you know, you want that to be rewarded, because it's right. But no one's going to give it to you. You don't get any brownie points for it, so you're going to have to go earn it. So, you know, we've had a great week. I think we have a good plan. I think it's got some ability with some flexibility to account for some things. And we've got to put that together and go win a big road game.
Like you did, like in the Merle game, come out and maybe some big passing plays on first down to maybe just keep the other team. It seemed like you came out and hit a couple plays early with the passing game, and then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah. I think we have to, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we all know we're going to have to create balance. You know, we've imposed our will. You know, there was a 2-week stretch where we put up 70 points, probably conservatively could, if we wanted to, put up 90. So, you know, that might not be what we're going to be doing. Might not be able to do that right now. So that means other guys are going to have to step up in other phases. You know, and when your number's called, you got to be at competitive excellence and deliver, right? I mean, it doesn't matter whether you throw 72 passes or 6. When they're up there, you better catch them. You know, and you better protect. I think those are things that we're spending a fair amount of time working on. You know, our protection is something that we felt really could have and should have been better. And we lost Pat Boyle, you know, in that game. That hurt us, because now we took a guy, Derek Dennis, moved him to left tackle, who we didn't practice all week either because of a previous ankle injury. So now what you're doing is you're taking guys moving positions, and they're not even practicing, period. And that is where you are in this time of year, to answer your question. That's the grind you're in right now. Depth this time of year, if you have it, it's phenomenal. We have it on defense. But on offense, we don't have depth. We don't have great depth.
Steve, is Brandon still banged up a little bit? And if
No.
so, is that, no?
No.
He just mishit that one ball?
He mishit that ball. He's been punting great, but he mishit that ball. I forgot about that. You know, there's so many times you can go down there and miss your opportunities in the red zone, be it touchdown, be it field goal. You need to get points. Too many trips down there without points, you know, you got to be strong-willed to overcome all that.
Coach, when it comes to promoting that better balance on offense, are you guys working on the passing game more during the week, or is it a state where, you know, you're sort of comfortable on it, there just needs to be that better balance in terms of the action?
You know, every week honestly we work on it every week, complete balance, and it just comes down to, you know, call. Okay. And sometimes what happens in a game is you want to feed that guy that's that dominant player. You know, I watched a game last night where they were trying to feed a wide receiver who was a dominant player, thrown into double coverage, but it didn't matter. The guy goes up and takes the ball and brings it down, you know. But you're trying to feed your dominant player. And, you know, then when you don't, it's like, well, you're an idiot. You didn't give the ball to your best player. I mean, but then you give the ball to your, you know, so it's like everything else in the world. Somewhere in there's, you know, balance, happy median, and that's what we're striving for. And obviously, more so probably this week than most. But I mean, if we handed the ball off and we were just ripping off runs, I don't think we'd throw it just because it was cool.
Steve, does a guy like being a quarter factor a little bit more now, being able to run the ball if Bernard and Matt are still banged up? Does he give you another option where he might be able to get in there and help you out if those guys come Wednesday are still kind of banged up?
We're going to utilize everybody we have to create everything that we can create. All hands on deck.
other questions?
No one wants to know what's in the bag right here.